So you don't buy at an impulse. So because you understand the way the market moves, so you just relax yourself because you know that at some point that the momentum that was here will die down. It will eventually die down. That's when, if you hear, at the beginning of this impulse, you were looking at for that engulfing candle, that will engulf, that will point to that direction it wants to go aggressively. If you were not able to identify that, and then the market starts moving, so you just relax your mind. At some point, what you should now be looking at for is to see that sign of weakness. That's where the doji now comes in. That's where the doji comes in. Maybe the market at some point now starts forming doji. You know that, oh, this bullish momentum that was there is no longer there. The market is now ready to sell off. So depending on your skill level, depending on where you are currently at in your journey, you can participate in this retracement. That depends on where your skill set is. If you will be able to get a very good entry, because you know that, okay, that is what the market is supposed to do next. So, but as you're moving, whether you decide to wait or you sharpen your skill to that point where you just know that, okay, because we had this impulse that you can skillfully participate in this retracement. But if you're starting out, you can patiently wait for this retracement and then begin to wait for a continuation. Because right now, the trend in this market is bullish. So it's bullish. So because it's bullish, so you want to be on the buying side. So if you're starting out, you can patiently wait. You can patiently wait for this retracement to happen, and then you participate in the buy. So most times, where newbies may begin to have losing trades is either inside this consolidation, or they are chasing a market that is overbought, a market that is overbought or oversold. So either you're buying at an impulse, because this is where you should have been buying, where you should have bought. So, but most times when we see the market moving already in one direction, the market is already buying or selling, because you don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss out. You can jump in at a point where you're supposed to fold your hands. So at the point where you see the market making an impulse like this is no longer it's no longer advisable that you should begin to buy. That you want to wait for this retracement to come in. And then at the end of the retracement, then you can now join the continuation that you sure know that is going to happen, because it will definitely happen, because that's how the market moves. There is no other way that the market moves. So this is looking at the candles, not individually this time, but looking at them in a group. So we have an example here. Example of what I just demonstrated there. You can see that at some point the market was inside this consolidation. It was not moving anywhere. Then what happened? What's this candle called? This one. What is it called?
That candle is called a bullish engulfing candle.
Yeah, that's a bullish engulfing candle. So so when this one appeared, the market started moving in, started going bullishly.
The engulfing bar.
Yeah, we had a pullback, and see what resulted. We're having impulse, correction, continuation, correction, continuation, correction, continuation, correction, continuation, aggressively. And up to now, the market has been aggressive. But then at the point where at the point where we had this impulse. So if you were buying here now, if you were buying, so this market is buying, you saw that there was a pullback. The pullback came. The pullback came, gave an opportunity to buy again. Same thing. Impulse, correction, continuation, correction, continuation, correction, continuation. So you don't chase. So at the point where you were able to identify the market in one direction, just be patient. Just know that definitely the correction will come. It will definitely come. So this is when the market is bullish. This is an uptrend. So for a downtrend, the market will make impulse, it will correct, it will continue. So we can have it correcting again, continue. Just the same way we can have a correction and then a continuation. So the same, it can still begin with first a consolidation, where we'll have a consolidation, then after the consolidation, we now have an impulse to one direction, so that will be quickly followed by when you see this impulse in one direction. Is that a time to start selling? No. Wait for a pullback that will definitely come. The market will not move in this one direction forever. It will never do that. At some point, it will tire out, and then this pullback will come. If this pullback does not come, then we will not have this. So this one must come. So you just wait for it. So after that, there's going to be a continuation. Then you have another pullback. So it can continue on and on and on until it finally gets to the T zone. finally gets to the key zone that it wants to get to. And then we'll now begin to see the market reversing or changing direction. So as a group, so in this case now, so when we are looking at the candles as a group, we want to find out what are they doing, what is the behavior. So this is an example of a consolidation, a market that does not have direction. So we want to avoid this kind of market. So usually when you see this after an impulsive move, this was an impulse. This was an impulse. And then after the impulse, we now have a consolidation. So when we see this consolidation, we want to further, we just want to sit on our hands until the market is ready. So as you sharpen yourself, it will get to that point where when we now saw this, we know that okay, there's not an engulfing. So we can say, okay, since we've already gotten this engulfing, let us see if we can get more confirmation. So the confirmation, price started moving aggressively in one direction and then produced the pullback, and eventually we had a breakout. So even if we regard the whole of this as a consolidation, even if we extend that consolidation to this point, we saw that at some point there was a breakout of this consolidation. So that's another thing we can now use, because there is enough. So the breakout was more confirmed, such that even if we drag the consolidation out of this point, so I prefer using this. This one was a much more better breakout. And before this one that I said we prefer, did you notice that we still had an engulfing here? Did you notice that? Yeah. So there was still an engulfing, an engulfing candle. So we are looking at price. So reading price, you want to read it all as sundry. We are looking at them individually, and then we're also looking at them collectively. Individually, what are they doing? And then what are they also doing collectively? So you want to sharpen your skill to that point where you now begin to interpret the market in a way that you become confident of what you are doing. So this is how you want to be looking at the candles as a group. What are they doing? Are they inside a consolidation? Has it made an expansion, an impulsive move? So when you identify a consolidation, normally when we identify a consolidation in the market, we're just short of one thing. We don't know when, but we just know that there is going to be an expansion. We don't know when it's going to be, but we know that there is going to be an expansion. I don't know if that point is clear. Is that point clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So you just know that when there is a consolidation, when you see a consolidation in the market, don't be in a hurry. Just relax. But until you know that there is going to be an impulsive move that will break out of that consolidation. Because that's what happens after a consolidation. Then after an impulsive move, what follows? What follows an impulsive move?
A pullback, sir.
Yeah, pullback. The pullback comes. So so you don't want to go chasing. Don't chase it. Just relax. Be calm. So you can anticipate it. So you want to actually what you really want to see or be able to identify is the impulse. You want to see the impulse. Because if you see the impulse, you know that one thing is sure, there is going to be a consolidation. there is going to be a pullback. And at the end of that pullback, there is going to be a continuation. So that helps in knowing the behavior of the candles collectively. Okay, as a tip, like I earlier mentioned that the market moves in patterns. So when we have an impulse, the pullback, we expect that there will be a continuation. For a situation, sometimes we see a price after an impulse. Now we are expecting we've seen the impulse. We're expecting the pullback. And then suddenly, instead of the pullback coming, you see price will start going up. Will still continue going up, but not aggressively. It will start doing something like this. You will give me some minutes. Let me switch my battery. Is that clear?
All right, sir.
Let me switch. My battery is low.